Yeah, so I told you I've been sleeping for 29 years, which means that I'm only 1 year old and 2 months old. 1 year and 2 months old. Okay, in order to understand this, it's best that I give you some context. Right. And wheat is an important equation of all this stuff. Wheat is the catalyst. Okay, let me explain. So when I came to the Netherlands, I never really used weed properly. I only smoke like once every 6 months, for example, and it's just for fun. You know, I mainly just drink alcohol. And when I smoked weed and I was high, it was mainly just for pleasure. You know, to enhance pleasure, to watch TV better or show better, to ejaculate better, to have sex better. It was just like that. You know, it wasn't anything else. When I was in Australia, I had a girlfriend. Her name is Tasman, and she used to smoke weed when she was younger, so she's experienced and she's a dancer. So because lockdown, and we also got weed in Australia, so we both smoke weed, and suddenly she just started to encourage me to dance along with her. We played nice music. I was a very self-conscious person. Like, I don't like to dance so much in front of people because I'm always thinking about what others are going to think of me as such an idiot dancing this way. So I'm always self-conscious when I go to clubs. I always feel very awkward, very awkward. I don't like to move, very stiff. But slowly I realized when I was high, it's a lot easier to just follow her moves, you know? She encouraged me to move my body a little bit more, so I started to move around more. It's just become more relaxed. It's great. We continued this gradually until my body starts to enjoy dancing. But there was one specific evening when we were both high and we were all dancing. After dancing, I just stay still. Like, after dancing we rest, right? But I really just stay still, you know, not talking and just have my own space for myself. And then I start to recall my childhood memories. I start to remember my childhood memories when I was young, like maybe 6 years old or something. And I was in the living room and I remember playing my toys. I was able to remember every single detail so vividly, and as if I transport myself back in time. So in the sense that when I turn my head, I can actually see the things around me. Like, I was really transported back to the old self where my sight is no longer the present moment but in the past. So when I turn around, I can see my dad coming home from work. When I look here, I can see my toys. I can see exactly every single detail. It just comes to me. Wow, amazing! I was surprised. And then I realized I can actually teleport to another past and actually record everything in detail. Wow, and actually feel exactly how I felt at that moment. Oh, what kind of superpower is this? All I need to do is just stay still and I'm high. And I got really curious ever since that day. Really curious what's going on. When I returned to Rotterdam after Australia, I had space for myself. I was living with a landlord who always gives me space. So I was no longer with my girlfriend. She's physically in London, I'm in Rotterdam. So I had my space for myself. I started to experiment with weed carefully. So I take once a week. And when I do, yeah, I try to relax, you know, just sit down and just let it be. And I start to realize, wow, a lot of creative thoughts come to me naturally. I start to, for example, I start to read books that are difficult for me to understand before. I start to understand them so clearly. Wow, what is this? And then I start to see through bubble, so I start to realize my work in Shell is not right for me. I start to notice that all of my colleagues are just acting, you know? And I start to write a lot of essays, a lot of philosophical essays about reality and stuff. It just comes to me. Naturally, I keep typing. I became super creative. I start to see things differently. When I see a flower, it's no longer just a flower. In March the 6th, I was watching a YouTube video. I was high. I was alone in the apartment. It was a Buddhist scholar talking about Buddhism for 2 hours. 2 hours. I was just curious because I was trying to figure out what's going on. So I naturally was drawn to trying to find an explanation what's going on. So I just watched this video. And halfway through that video, the Buddhist scholar said something, and immediately I felt something light that happened to me, just like a strangle in the neck. I strangle your neck, you can't breathe. And then, just about when you're about to die, I let go. Then I can breathe out, relax. That sensation, lightness. And then the thought came in. I can't believe, Ming, you've been seeing the world in that way for 29 years of your life. I did not know that I don't know anything. I realized I don't know a single thing. It's me realizing my own ignorance. And ever since then, the things was totally different. The whole world is different. There's no turning back. Creativity starts to come back.
Boy,
and then yeah, you can imagine all the thoughts, the wisdom, whatever just comes, just keeps coming. And yeah, at some point I realized that I have compassion for all beings. It's a very difficult thing to say to you. It's hard to say. You have to experience it. A lot of things just cannot be described in words. It has to be experienced. And I cannot tell you that. But since then, everything is new. So I've not seen my mom. I've not seen my sister. I've not been to Malaysia. I've not been to Germany. I've not been to Spain. Yeah. So everything is new. And I'm curious to know what I don't know, but actually when I start to know things, I don't know even more. So you can see I express myself by buying all the books, because I'm curious about a lot of things. I'm like a kid again, I start to, I'm going back to source, becoming a kid. Really, this is what it is. And you realize that the world is fun. It's not serious. It's fun. When it's fun, you don't have to be serious. But then you look around, everyone's serious. It's like you are playing a game. It's supposed to be fun, but you're serious. You make it too serious. and if you're the one who are not serious and you actually see it, it's funny to see other people being serious. I can't stop laughing about it. When people are overly serious when it's not really needed, you can see that. So I became a hermit, so in the sense that I do things, so if everyone goes right, I go left. So like I wake up at 4 a.m. and I go out with my bike and I cycle in the dark and I go to the forest. I would bury the dead animals that I see in the road. I would dance around them and bury them. I will make contact with night animals. I will sleep in the forest. I will take off all my clothes and lie down on the ground and let the ants, all the insects come to my body. I feel very connected with nature. Because at that point, when you realize that, I don't know how to explain, it's just hard to explain. But at least I can tell you what I do, and then you can maybe make an interpretation of what it is. But I can't really tell you what it is. You just need to listen to what my experience is. Then you can understand a little bit what it is. So the more I become a hermit, when I say a hermit means that I go left, everyone goes right, you can see. Because just like you can only see black and white, right? You can only see Western civilization from the point of view of Eastern civilization or African civilization. If you are in Western civilization and you are always in Western civilization, you cannot see yourself because there's no contrast. Yeah. So you need to have the contrast. And the only way you can have contrast is by going against it. And that means doing things differently. And that's what I've been doing all the time. You can see it through my work, right? I'm doing crazy stuff here. No one understands me. I go to Dam Square where everyone's busy taking selfies. I will be there with my iPad listening to music, dancing in the middle. No one understands. But then the thing is, I can see through everyone. And also I go to bar by myself. I'll go to the restaurant by myself. I eat by myself. I use my hands to eat. Everyone's busy talking to themselves and not realizing they are in a bubble. So that was, yeah, so yeah, to answer your question, was there ever a change? Yes, It happened on the March the 6th, 2021. And weed had a catalyst. Weed was a catalyst. And weed, I realized, it's a chemical that actually allows you to let go. And I think, yeah, letting go is the pathway towards where I have where I think, yeah, it's the act of letting go. It helps me to let go because it, like when in a normal state, you have a lot of inhibition, like you filter a lot of things. Your spotlight, so your consciousness is only interested in certain things. Like for example, it's only interested in seeing things that are moving. You ignore the rest. For example, you ignore the space. So if you look at a vase, you know, like a flower vase, you ignore the space inside. You ignore it. You just care about the exterior. But weed allows you to sort of like turn that off. So then the spotlight consciousness become a floodlight consciousness. So spotlight become a floodlight. So when you have a floodlight, you can see what you ignored. And when you do, then you can see it. And that's what weed does to my brain, or to whatever, to the body. That's why I feel like, I don't know if this is necessary for a lot of people, for most people, but it works for me. Yeah, I'm sure not everyone needs to have weed. Like for example, the monks that go to the monastery, or they also are awakened from their own method. For me, this is how it works. I'm not saying that this is the method. I'm saying that weed has a catalyst in it. Of course, you notice that there are a lot of people who use weed, but then they are still the same. That's because they are never really being in that state of calm and just relax, and yeah, they are always trying to chase the next big thing. And obviously, yeah, the weed just gives you the enhancement of pleasure, like I did when I was in the Netherlands. Yeah. But how do you get to that state of just being calm? It's by chance. I was just lucky that I have Tasmin to just be there for me and helping me, giving me that nudge that I need. Otherwise, I would never find my way, right? So there's no method. There's no single method for anyone. You have to find your way. And again, yeah, maybe it's luck or maybe it's destiny. I don't know. But I'm grateful, and certainly I still do not understand why Work Ground happened to me. Yeah, Work Ground is just somehow my manifestation of my creative energy. Because I feel like I have compassion. Well, I understand the meaning of what it means to have compassion for all beings. When I say beings, it's not just the cat or the dog or you. It's everything. Because to feel that way means that you need to feel like you are also, let's say, the speaker. You need to feel like you're also that speaker. Then you will feel, then it makes sense to have compassion for all beings, right? Because you have compassion for beings means that you understand that you are that. you're that. But how do you understand that? I don't know. It's just a feeling. It's a feeling that I have direct experience in, and I cannot explain it. Really cannot explain it. It's the, can't say it. I don't know. It's very confusing, Albert. So I'm still in a state of confusion because I don't know anything. I still don't know a single thing, despite being 1 year old. But the world's fun. It's fuck. That's why every day I'm having fun. Yeah, having fun every day. That's the story.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I would like to tell you something.
Yes.
Could you turn off the camera?